call the beer board meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Has anyone had a chance to look over the minutes and care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. For new business, an off-premises beer permit application for Walgreens, store number 06039, located at 5000 Murfreesboro Road, Walgreens Company. If there is someone here, please approach the podium. State your name for the record.
My name is Robert Hickman, ma'am.
All right, and your position with the company?
Store manager.
Store manager.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hickman?
I assume this is the same Walgreens that's been there. You guys just are now deciding to sell beer?
Yes, sir. Just, due to customer and, consumer demand. Yep.
Okay.
Now, is Walgreens Corporation intending to become responsible vendors? How are y'all planning on training your employees?
We actually have some corporate training programs which are set in place, which are sent down from corporate. As soon as a permit is granted, then those training programs are sent down to our computer systems, which all employees have to complete before we can actually sell any of the product. We also have a computer system in place where we can enter the date of births of all the employees, which will prohibit anybody under the age of 21 selling any product to anyone under the legal age.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
Did you receive a copy of our beer regulations? Have you reviewed those? Do you understand them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no other questions.
If I may,
Yes.
Madam Chairman, we did a background check on the store manager. That came back fine. Late last week, we did receive another, because I know we like to do a corporate officer typically. I did receive the information. We ran the background check. It has not come back on the corporate officer. So it's really up to this board as far as how you want to proceed. The background check came
For the
fine
manager
on
was
the
good,
manager.
whether we want to pin it on the corporate or not.
That's up to you.
Okay.
Is that Rick Ramirez that we did the other background check on?
No. Your first background check was on Robert Hickman, who's standing before you. I don't have that other sheet in front of me for who the second one was, but it was not on Rick Ramirez. I do remember that.
Okay.
Exactly what affiliation is Rick Ramirez to the Walgreens? Seeing how he's the contact information on our application, Rick Ramirez.
What was the name again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Rick Ramirez.
Sorry.
You're welcome to join
Yeah,
him.
you go ahead and join. We won't make you talk across it.
That's fine. Tom Shepard, District Manager for Walgreens.
Okay.
Rick Ramirez is the head of our Tax and Licensing Department, who puts in all the applications for the permits and things.
Understood. Understood.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Does anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve pending a clean background check on the corporate officer.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So once we get that background check back, then Bruce will contact you to be able to come and get the permit.
Great. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
All right, next order of business is on-premises beer permit application for CR Noodle House Restaurant located at 5270B Murfreesboro Road. If you'll please approach anyone here for that restaurant, please approach the podium and state your name.
Hello. My name is Sompong Ratnabong, owner of Noodle House Thai restaurant.
So is this a change of ownership, or have we not had beer permit there?
This is a change of ownership.
Change of ownership,
The
I thought we
previous
had.
applicant was, let's see here, Devon Kitchens. He was approved
Okay,
about a year and a half ago, I
Number
believe.
16. One more page.
I was thinking
Okay.
they had one before, that was what I wanted. Okay. How many employees do you intend to have there, and how do you intend to train them for beer sales?
We may have a family restaurant, you know.
Okay.
It's no the family, and I have one waitress. She had an ABC.
She has.
You got an
ABC.
ABC card?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, is everyone trained on all the laws and regulations for selling beer in the city,
Including
including
family.
in your employment? Okay.
Yeah.
When did the ownership change take place?
January 9,
January 9th?
2010.
And have you guys been selling beer since then?
Yeah, before they have the sale.
Before the change, but you haven't sold any since January 9th?
They have a 30-day.
They do have a
Right.
30-day?
Mhm.
Okay.
Whenever it transfers, they
Okay,
have a 30-day.
never mind, then we're within the 30 days.
Do anyone have any other questions?
No.
The background check did come back okay. That's fine.
Okay. Anyone care to make any motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the permit.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank
Then
you.
we'll get that signed, and Mr. Bruce will get a hold of you as soon as it's ready. All right. Last item, motion to approve or reject settlement offer for David Driggers and Driggers, Inc., doing business as Alexander's versus the City of Laverne for the beer board docket number for Rutherford County. If you'd like to approach with that offer, sir?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Thank you all for making time to hear me out. And I guess for the record, I'll say that I'm Chris Oliver on behalf of David Driggers, doing business as Alexander's right down the street. And I guess you all met with Mr. Free before the meeting about this. So what Mr. Driggers is prepared to do is shut down for 30 days. That's what he'd like to propose. And he will attend the ABC state training again. RVP is not an option for him. Derek probably explained that to you all, but he will go back through retraining. Right now he has one employee. He says if he hires anybody else and he also, I think, works there, so he's going to go back through retraining. He's take his one employee with him. If he hires anybody else between now and reopening, he'll make sure that they attend, and he will provide proof to you all that he has attended this prior to reopening. And he would propose that it would, start on the trial date, and that it would continue for 30 days or until he's provided proof that he has undergone this retraining.
What is the date that he plans to shut down at this point?
Derek, do you happen to know the trial date? I can look in my.
February 4th, was it not?
Right.
Does that sound right? So that'd be the date we propose. I wrote down a few things that do, I think, mitigate this. Not to argue at all. We're basically just throwing ourselves on the mercy of the board. But he is willing to retrain. I know the first violation I've explained to him. I know there's some dispute from him about this, whether this was a first or not. I've explained to him it's a second. He basically admitted the first, and then it doesn't matter that it's a second sale to a minor. So I've explained that to him, and given him a copy of the ordinance, and says if you violate any of these, that's a violation to them. And so I think he's up to speed on that now. It was, I think, around 2 years in between, maybe more, maybe less, between the violations. And I think, according to him, he's had his license a little more than 7 years. So I know that's too many, but he has been doing business for here. And then again, this is going to shut him down. And if he, it shut him down for a whole quarter, and he says put him out of business if he has to do that suspension as it stands now. So And then I hope that we can kind of measure this up and you know, make it parallel to the other settlements so that it's fair for everybody. So I'm here to answer questions or discuss. That's certainly not his final offer, but I have authority to offer that and see what the board has to say. He's not present but available. I thought that'd be helpful for negotiation. I can reach him by phone and he can be over here pretty quickly if there's anything that he needs to say or anything you all want answered by him directly. But I thought as far as settlement goes, I just appeared before him. He does get kind of emotional about this, and I understand it's his business. And but anyway, I thought that helped. He's available if you all have any specific questions for him.
Does anybody have any questions on this?
I'm sorry, I know you said earlier, what is the trial date, which is the date we're proposing for this to begin?
February 4th is the trial date.
Okay. It's almost the exact same amount of time we gave the other in the settlement, so I don't have a problem on that side.
The only problem I have with it is it's also the exact same that he served for the first offense. And being an in-house versus off-premises,
Should be able to control it a little bit better, I think. I'm gonna make a motion to go 45 days, and I think that's reasonable. I mean, I think 45 days will satisfy the board.
I'll let you all vote. I will say, too, that he did, I know, reading in the minutes, I know that he's going to have, he cards at the door now, and it's only 21. So I'm glad you mentioned that. He is trying to put in some systems to control it. My understanding that that's what he's doing now. And since you've made the motion, I'll be quiet.
I'll second that with the addition of also showing proof that the ABC
Correct.
training has taken place on the 45 days. Any discussion? All those in favor of that?
Aye.
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 And I do have authority to accept up to that amount of time.
Okay.
That happened to be the most he thought he could live with without closing down for good. So,
But we're not gonna revisit this.
no, sir. I have authority to accept it, and he would like to do that. And I will also say, as far as him learning his lessons, you know, he served a suspension last time, and he has to pay my bill too, and court costs. And so I want y'all, the board, to know there are some extra lessons in there, economic lessons for him. And
I think we would like to thank you for helping
I appreciate that.
Mediate this.
Yeah.
And
mediate, educate, because that's one of the primary things we're concerned with.
Sure.
You know, repeat offenses is not something that we want to see. And any kind of help that we get from council or anyone else is much appreciated, because at the end of the day, it's about stopping any kind of recurring issues and the underage drinking portion.
I thank you for saying that, and I hope that they'll come up with some kind of RVP for on premises. I know that'll help everybody.
right.
So that's all the business I have. I guess we'll try to document that. I do have authority for that. Is there anything else we need to say on the record, Derek?
I think they've made their, I guess, counter offer. It's now been accepted. I think we reduce it to writing and we finalize it from there.
And we'll do the same thing. We'll get this documented in a similar manner that we did the other one, and if we don't have the order submitted by that date, we'll go ahead and start the suspension in good faith like we did with the pantry. And I can also update the board on the fact that my understanding is that order has been entered, and I'm busy getting a copy for the board and for Derek, so I'll send that. But that one I think is totally closed. Now we're busy getting enrolled.
Good. Glad to
Okay.
hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Do we have any other business or comments?
Oh, go ahead,
Go
I'm
for
sorry.
Don't run off. I just want to formally make sure trial date, February 4th, 2010.
Start on
That'll be
February
fine.
4th for
Okay.
45
That'll be
consecutive
fine.
days
Within the, okay.
with the proof of the ABC
ABC
training as well.
Training as well, for all the employees
All of it. Okay.
and future employees.
Okay. That's what was voted on, and that's what was accepted, correct?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure we got a meeting of the minds here.
And it's the ABC training where the servers have to go through.
Right.
The home premises.
Okay.
And that's all that's available to him, and he's definitely going to do that.
No, I think I'm good.
I did have a chance to speak with the Tennessee state representative from the ABC, and I discussed about timelines for a company to be certified under the Responsible Vendor Act, and it's really a simple process. The thing is, they have to a company has to submit their training program with the proper fees, and it is reviewed at that time and then either accepted or rejected by the state, and that is generally done with about a 5 to 10 day turnaround.
Good.
So the state will either approve or disapprove the process and the program, but they don't actually approve individuals that attend or go through the program. It's the company's responsibility to keep up with that.
Right. So you're figuring anywhere from 20 to 30 days for the company to set up their standards and make sure it's
Right.
happening, get it approved, and then additional time necessary for each employee to
Right.
be trained.
Mr. Oliver, can I ask a question? Can you tell us the status of the other
Yes.
location?
Yes, like I said, we are busy enrolling. We've met with the state on the manual. It's not been finally approved. And so we're working on it. And then we understand that we can't still be at that location until we get approved, and it's going to happen, I think. And I also put a little finer point on that. One delay for us has been that it is an in-house manual. Smaller mom and pop can go to a third-party vendor and simply fill out the paperwork to enroll and take the training course. And so if push comes to shove and a time crunch, we may do that, train these 3 stores with a third-party vendor, because if we have any holdups on getting the in-house thing done.
They had received y'all's training program that morning whenever I spoke with them, because I identified myself as and the reason for my questions, and he said, "Well, as a matter of fact, we got this in the got this
Good.
this morning." So
Haywood Reed,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Haywood Reed,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've met with him several times, and we're going to get it closed out.
Great. Thank you.
Good.
Do we have any other orders of business? No? Then we'll call this meeting adjourned. Before y'all run off.